Welcome to the Driven Moms Answering Adversity interview series, Stories of Success Through Setbacks from Mom Elevated. Together, we can shine a light on how normal challenges and struggles are, along with how we can overcome and rise above them. Today, we have Barbara with us to share her story, and I'm super excited to hear it. So, can you briefly tell us a little bit about it?
Well, it all started when I met this guy. I
That's how
was
they all
a freshman in high school. We were high school sweethearts, and we got married soon after. We were 21 when we got married in 1990, and married 25 years, had 3 wonderful children. Then suddenly he decided he wanted a divorce. So there I was, alone, and it was absolutely devastating. I was with this man for 34 years total, my whole life. I was 46 years old. So my life was over. I didn't know what to do. All I knew was he was in the military. So as I am at work, I work with Louisiana National Guard, but he was in the Guard and he was deployed a lot. And the ownership that I had to take as being both mom and dad while he was gone was very real. I had to fix the plumbing. I had to fix the cars, because 9 times out of 10, he wasn't home. So I was basically the sole provider for the kids. And then he would come home and he would play dad for a little while, then he would go away. So whenever I moved out, suddenly I was in a house by myself. There were no children, there was no husband, there was empty house. I didn't have any furniture. I had a couch, I had my bed, but I had my dogs. And I'm gonna cry to this day. I tell people that my dog saved my life, because had I not had to get up to take the dogs out, I probably wouldn't have gotten dressed. I was literally sitting in the chair, and I had all the pills sit out, and I contemplated suicide on many occasions. And then the kids would come over for a week and I would be fine. But then they would go away on Sunday and I'd be there again, sitting in the chair, looking at these pills, but I'd have to take the dog. Who was going to take care of my dogs? So, but I had a big poodle at the time. He passed at 16 years old, but he caught a lot of tears, and is eventually, time went on. About my boss, he covered for me because I certainly didn't go to work for a good month or so. And then I started going back to work. And then, I have a story of stories, but I started going out. Once I started going out, suddenly I found out, hey, I'm single and I have no kids, so for a little while there, I had a really good time. And then I realized, oh, I can't keep this up, so I had to tone it down and manage my money, because I knew that I was one salary. So the divorce happened, and there's a lot more to that, but the divorce happened, and I had another supervisor. She would tell me, Barbara, just get you some red lipstick. And I'm like, why do I need to wear red lipstick? So Barbara, just go buy you some red lipstick. So I did. And she's like, are you wearing your red lipstick? And I'm like, well, no, ma'am, because it's not my shade of red. She said, well, throw that one out and go buy another one. And I'm like, girl, I spent $10 on this. So anyway, fast forward to last year, and she's a lieutenant colonel now. And I said, ma'am, can I show you what's happening in my life? And she's like, oh my God, you started your own lipstick line. And I was like, that's a really good idea. But no, that's not it. And then I showed her what I was doing. But I realized at that point that years ago, she was having me do my self-care, because you can't just wear red lipstick.
Yeah.
You have to put on your whole face, and then you end up going out buying the red high heel shoes. And then you're going to look hot and go out.
Did you put on
So
red lipstick?
I
Do you?
did.
Yes.
And I started my own lipstick line too.
Oh, you did. I love it. I love that.
I did. And I named all of my colors after women who have influenced me in my life.
Oh my goodness.
So that's a little sad thing, but yes, it was taking my what I went through and just kind of, I wasn't even tracking that. I wasn't even tracking trying to start a lipstick line,
Yeah,
but she put it in my head. So by November last year, I had a lipstick line.
that's so cool. Oh, I love that.
So, that's kind of my story. I mean, there's a little more to it, but basically that's it in a nutshell.
That's so wow. That is wild. That is quite an I can't even that timeline even is crazy because when you say, you are still like the main person that they were relying on, you were the main person there, and then all of that, you said he's there, he's gone, he wasn't always around, but it's still like the mentality of you had that person to go to in times of,
Hmm.
when you were going through something rough or just to vent to throughout the day, like that kind of thing is kind of what you probably had to mourn a little bit more than just having somebody there since he wasn't necessarily or physically all the time. Like that I can see how that would my husband also works out of state 90% of the time, so he only comes home maybe a weekend out of a month. So I
Hmm.
definitely identify with how that can be you just become more emotionally, I guess, really invested in that. And that's so, wow, that is wild. So
Yes.
how would you say throughout that, I guess that lieutenant was really, really helpful um, in facilitating getting yourself back into finding what you wanted to do for you, really. But how would you say you answered that adversity to get out of that, well, this is the end? And to get back up into, okay, I can do something for me now. This is okay. I'm okay. I will be okay. How do you think you
Exactly.
went through those steps really?
Well, working with the military as long as I have, they trained me very well on how to deal with situations that the soldiers and families were going through. So I've got all the suicide prevention. I drew on that. I've got all of the resiliency training. I drew on that. I have the financial literacy training. I mean, everything that I needed, I realized I was the subject matter expert for these issues that the soldiers, I mean, I'm Louisiana, we have parishes, we don't have counties, but I work in 11 parishes in Northwest Louisiana. So I have a probably 4,000 service members, and then add their families to that. So there's a lot that they call on me to help them with.
Yeah.
So I realized that I have something that I can work and figure out how to get myself out of this. So I drew on all that information. 33 years now that I've worked with Louisiana National Guard, they've trained me to do this. So I took that and I went and created a program for civilian women who were going through this. What can I give? They've equipped me to give to the military. Now, how can I repurpose that and give to the civilian women should who deserve
Yeah.
to get what I have and what I've been taught?
That's beautiful. Oh, I love that so much. How great. And what a great way to really transform and use what you went through as a catalyst for something so great. What do you think in that case, what do you think it is about entrepreneurs and how we do use things in our life to kind of catapult what we want to do? What do you think it is about us that makes us continue through those challenges, through those tough times without giving up and going back to, you know, okay, well, I'm just going to do my 9 to 5. That's fine. That's enough. We always know there's something more and we continue on. What do you think it is about us that really allows for that?
Well, and you just said it. We know there's something more. We know that we have a desire. It's not very often people enjoy their jobs. I absolutely love my job. I was doing it for free before they even created the position. I've been here since the beginning. So I started as a volunteer in 1990 because as soon as we were married, my husband was called to deploy overseas for Desert Storm. So from the very beginning of what started family programs for the military, I was there. So the transition through the years and everything that's come along, the resiliency training, the financial literacy training, everything that has happened, I've been able to be a part of. So I know that there's a need for my job and I love it. So I'm already doing what I love to do. So now I had to figure out, because I want more.
Yeah.
I had to figure out, how can I do that for others on my own time? Because now that my children are growing and getting married and in college and all the stuff, all the things,
Mhm.
I want to be there for my children and my grandchildren. Because when my oldest son, Christopher, when he was born, my mother-in-law came and stayed with us for about a week. We lived out of state, and she came and stayed. I wouldn't have known he had joined us. That we had no family where we were living, but she came and stayed for a week. I want to be that parent that helps raise my grandchildren. So my desire to have something that I can make happen, and I know I can do that, is what drives me because I'm not in this to make money. I'm not. My life is to serve others, just like I've done for all these years with the military. I want to be able to help other women go through what I went through and find themselves and find their purpose and find their passion. Because without that, we're not going to be happy. I see people working their 9 to 5 jobs that they don't want to get up in the morning to go to work, and I live to come to work because I never know what's going to walk through that door right there. Who's going to need me today? And that's how I start my day every day.
I love that's amazing. I just love that. And that's so true. If you can find something that you really love to do, it doesn't matter if you're making money at it or not, but
Mm-mm.
you can because you're good at it. So I think that's so important. And it keeps you going because you love it so much and you'll do it whether or not you are making money. Like it's something that you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to keep tweaking this because I love it. I can do it. And then let's see how we can add on to it.
I know, for example, look real quick, this weekend I'm working, and because I've been seeing this little baby kangaroo on Facebook, and I'm like, how is this baby kangaroo going to these hospitals? And my friends are posting pictures with the baby kangaroo. Then my bestie, she sent me a picture on my text through text. She's holding the kangaroo. I'm like, okay, how do I get the baby kangaroo? So found the people and I called them and I talked to them, and I just turned it in like a couple of weeks ago to try to get my time approved to work the overtime. And my supervisor was kind of he's military.
Yeah.
So he was trying to give me fits. And I told that was like my second supervisor. I told the supervisor right over me, I said, look, I'll do this for free. If he don't want to pay me, fine. But I'm getting my hands on the baby kangaroo, and we're going to go show these soldiers this baby kangaroo, because it's about morale. It's not about, and that's the same thing. It's not family programs. My job is yes, we're about helping service members and their families, but we're also about the MWR, morale, welfare, and recreation.
Yeah.
And if they can't support me taking a baby kangaroo around to the units, I will do it for free.
So then I love that so much. What do you think the biggest takeaway or lesson that other moms can take away from your particular story and experience?
Well, never give up. Never, never, ever worry about what tomorrow is going to bring. That things will take care of themselves. Whatever your idea is, there are no stupid ideas. There are no stupid questions. You know, if you like something, test it, go to market with it, try it. If you have to be positive, because if you are not positive and you're not grateful for every morning you open your eyes or every breath you take, there's nothing better. You have to be positive and know deep in your heart that you can do whatever it is you put your mind to.
That's beautiful. I'm gonna have to write that down too. I like to surround myself with positive notes and things, so that's gonna be one that I put up for sure. And then kind of on the same side of things, what would you say when you're just in the throes, like when your divorce was just first happening and you tapped into all the resources you had, your dog helped you through all of that. What do you think that biggest thing is when you're in the throes of like what you feel is the worst time? What would you say would help you get out of that?
You have to go through the cycle. There's in my situation, I used it as a death of my relationship. In any death, there has to be a period of mourning. In any deployment, we have the cycles of deployment, same thing. There has to be a period of, oh my God, I'm by myself now, and we call it Murphy's Law. We say Murphy visits is our soldier wife thing. If it could happen, it's gonna happen when they're not here. So Murphy visits a lot. So when I was going through everything that I went through, first I had to realize that my life was not over. I had to mourn what I was losing. And then came, what can I do now? It came, I have my whole life ahead of me and nobody can tell me no. All the ideas I had when we were married, he always said no. Some of them he said yes, but a lot of times he said no. But I tend to have a lot of ideas. but there are some things that I did that were right. There were a lot of things I did that were wrong, but wrong as in money, financial, but I would hope that the cycle of things in that we go through as moms is not painful, that it's a healthy cycle, that the months that I had trying to figure out who I was, that I had a really good time. I was not making good choices. but it was a lot of fun. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really hope that people recognize that it is a cycle and that you will come out of it.
I love that. Yes. That's so huge. I feel like that's a really big pivotal thing too, is to realize that it's a cycle and that it's not going to last forever. This moment is just that moment. It's going to get better. It's going to improve, things like that. I think that's so wise. Thank you for sharing that. So what's the best way for others to find you then? I'm going to have it obviously in the description as well, but in case they're listening in, just to grab easily by ear, how would they find you to work with you or learn more about what you do?
Well, I am barbaraconway.com is my blog. I do mindset life coaching, and I have my lipstick line. If you want to look at my lipstick,
Okay.
every color is named after someone. And I am launching eventually I will launch the second set of colors, but that is Empowered by BTC, that for Barbara Turner Conway.com, and I'm Barbara Turner Conway on Facebook. So y'all find me.
Yes, please do. Go find her. I love that. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your story and being willing to be open and honest about all of it. I
Well,
very much.
thank you so much for having me. This has been loads of fun.
I know, I agree. I could chat with you all day. But your story is very inspirational and your willingness to be open about it is very much appreciated and needed in this space, I feel,
Mhm.
especially with mom entrepreneurship and all of the things it comes with. For those of you out there facing your own adversity, know that you're not alone. That's why we're doing this. That's the whole point of this. You are not alone. And when you need an extra hand or mind for brainstorming during your mompreneur journey, we would love to work with you through the Mom Elevated Society. You will find monthly check-ins for goal setting and assessing, and so much more for both your business and your mom life. Until next time, keep shooting for the stars.